No matter how hard you train your shoulders, they just won't get broader or bigger. That's because you're missing the key. Let me ask you a playful question. Are you training the wrong way? How do you actually make your shoulders broader and bigger? If you've come across this post, consider yourself lucky. The real objective reason comes down to one thing. The bigger your middle deltoid, the bigger and broader your shoulders. But you might be stuck in a rut, doing 8 sets of 8 with 5 kilograms dumbbells, playing house with your side laterals, only to end up with underwhelming results. In presses like the bench press or dumbbell shoulder press, you primarily stimulate the front delts. Even if you max out the intensity and volume of every set, all you'll achieve is a strong front delt, not the full, round middle delt that creates a broader shoulder look. Overdeveloped front delts won't give you the visual impact that comes from well-developed middle delts. If your goal is to have broad, powerful shoulders that inspire confidence and give a sense of security, you might even consider skipping pressing movements entirely and focus on side laterals as your primary exercise. In just 2 months, you'll notice significant improvements. Your shoulders will look larger and broader. Not all side laterals are created equal. Side laterals are a broad category, and not all variations are equally effective. Take dumbbell side laterals, for example. They're convenient and require minimal equipment. However, there's a key limitation. At the top of the movement, the long lever arm makes it difficult for the muscles to handle the immediate pressure. Ironically, this is the position where the middle delts are most engaged. This limitation prevents you from using heavier weights effectively. Research suggests that maximizing tension throughout a muscle's physiological range of motion yields greater benefits. Unfortunately, dumbbell side laterals fall short in this regard. How do you optimize them? Optimizing side laterals. 1. Form adjustments. Keep your elbows close to your body. Lock your arms in a slight external rotation. Your arms should naturally stop at the plane of your scapula, which is the optimal path for side lateral raises. This positioning maximizes tension on the middle delts and provides the greatest stretch at the bottom. 2. Cables for the win. Cable side laterals allow you to start the movement from behind your body, maximizing the stretch. Adjust the pulley to the height of your naturally hanging arms. At the bottom of the movement, your middle delts will experience maximum tension. You can perform these with one arm or both arms, depending on your preference. Comparing dumbbells and cables. In an 8-week study involving 25 participants with 5 years of training experience, each trained one arm with dumbbell side laterals and the other with cable side laterals. Ultrasound measurements showed similar gains in the upper middle deltoid. However, for the lower middle deltoid, the cable variation showed 30 to 40% greater growth, which contributes to the coveted round shoulder appearance. Advanced variations. For beginners, cable side laterals may feel challenging, especially with both arms. Don't worry, there are alternatives. Start with standard dumbbell side laterals until failure, then switch to slightly heavier dumbbells and perform partial side laterals at the bottom range to fully exhaust your middle delts. Incline bench side laterals are another effective variation as they increase muscle activation. Training the overlooked posterior and mid-lower delts. Set the cable pulley at wrist height and rotate your body 45 degrees relative to the cable. This adjustment focuses the resistance more on the mid-lower delts. Alternatively, use a bench incline to a shoulder press angle and perform side laterals with your chest against the bench. Gradual overload is key. Unlike bench pressing, you can't quickly increase weights in side laterals. Even a small jump, like going from 10 kilograms to 12.5 kilograms, is significant. Pushing for heavier weights with poor form risks engaging other muscles, like the traps, resulting in unbalanced growth. The good news is, progressive overload doesn't have to mean adding weight. Performing more reps with the same weight can also stimulate muscle growth. Once you can perform 15 clean reps per set, you can increase the weight. For cable setups, if adding a full plate is too much, hang a small 2.5 kilograms dumbbell on the pin for micro adjustments. Final words. To all my fellow lifters, stay consistent, train smart, and may your shoulders grow broader and bigger. The topic of whether doing 200 pull-ups every day can make your back wider has been trending. Is it true? Well, if you're starting from zero, doing 200 pull-ups daily will certainly help, but how much it helps is another question. Here's why. Key factors. 1. The core principle of fitness. Heavy weights build big muscles. Research shows that while training volume is a crucial factor for muscle growth, it doesn't mean more sets and reps will always maximize gains. The effectiveness of your workout depends on reaching near failure in each set, which is essential for optimizing muscle growth. Studies suggest that the effective growth threshold is at least achieving a 3-rep reserve, 3RR, meaning you stop when you can barely do 3 more reps. For higher intensity, you should aim for a near max effort, often referred to as 2PE, perceived exertion, which indicates working at 90% to 100% of your capacity. If you want to grow faster, aim closer to maximum effort. So even if you split 200 pull-ups into 10 sets of 20, each set must push you to your limit. If 20 pull-ups per set leave you exhausted, you won't be able to complete 10 sets. 2. Violating the principle of progressive overload. Progressive overload is the foundation of muscle growth. Your body weight is relatively constant, which means the resistance in pull-ups doesn't change. Doing 200 pull-ups daily also means you're not increasing the intensity over time. Without progressive overload, it's challenging to make consistent gains. 3. The importance of rest and recovery. Training stimulates your muscles, causing slight damage, but real growth happens during rest. If you train the same muscle group 7 days a week without adequate recovery, it's counterproductive. This is why split training is popular, focusing on different muscle groups each day and incorporating rest days every 3 to 4 days. While you could theoretically do 200 pull-ups every day, it's not ideal for growth or recovery. 4. Nutrition is crucial. Rest isn't just about skipping training. Your diet plays a key role in maximizing muscle growth. Consuming 1.5 grams to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily is essential. For convenience, you can opt for protein powders. For example, Voice Protein Powder stands out with its 4-matrix formula compared to common single concentrate options. Made with premium isolate from Denmark's Arla, it's also rich in leucine, which supports muscle growth. The bottom line, to build a wider back or bigger muscles in general, you need to follow these principles. Train with progressive overload. Push each set close to failure. Consume enough protein to fuel recovery and growth. Finally, wishing all of you consistent progress and bigger gains in your training journey. Protein is the most fundamental and effective food for building muscle. But how much protein do you really need, and how should you consume it to maximize muscle gain and fat loss? Let's break it down, starting with protein types. Protein effectiveness. What matters? Scientists rank protein effectiveness based on 2 factors. 1. Digestibility. The higher the digestibility, the more protein your body can break down and use to build muscle. 2. Amino acid content. Protein sources contain various amino acids, the building blocks of protein. There are 20 amino acids in total, but 9 are essential, meaning your body cannot produce them. These essential amino acids are crucial for muscle growth. So which foods have the highest protein digestibility and essential amino acid content? The answer is protein powders, meat, fish, and dairy products. For example, I recommend Comvita Yogurt Whey Protein Powder, endorsed by Sushen. It contains 75% protein plus 100 probiotics per 100 grams, making it highly digestible and absorbable. Produced with full quality control, it ensures reliable standards. How much protein should you eat? Eating too little protein makes it hard to grow muscle, but eating too much has its downsides too. So what's the optimal intake? A comprehensive meta-analysis spanning 49 studies investigated the effect of protein intake on most. The findings revealed that adding more protein to your diet significantly increases muscle tissue, but there's a diminishing return effect. Beyond a certain point, additional protein does not lead to noticeable benefits and can increase the burden on your organs. The sweet spot is 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. Consuming more than this provides no additional muscle building benefits. For an average individual weighing 170 pounds, approximately 77 kilograms, the upper limit would be around 130 grams of protein per day. However, even if you don't reach this exact amount, most people won't experience significant drawbacks. Protein and fat loss. When cutting, your body might burn muscle for energy. To prevent this and avoid wasted effort, a higher protein intake helps preserve muscle mass. High protein is not only effective for muscle building, but also crucial during fat loss phases to maintain muscle, ensuring that once you've slimmed down, you achieve the look you're striving for. If two individuals weigh the same, but one has significantly higher body fat and less muscle, their protein needs will be lower. For individuals with over 25% body fat or women with over 35%, it's better to guide protein intake by height rather than weight, no more than your height in centimeters in grams of protein. How to maximize protein absorption. Muscle protein synthesis, MPS, spikes every time your body digests protein. This signal is a key trigger for muscle growth. However, your body can only process 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal to maximize this synthesis signal. Beyond that, the effect plateaus, similar to a cool down period, 2 hours, during which further protein intake won't enhance the signal. Theoretically, if you time your protein intake perfectly to match this cool down period throughout the day, you could keep your muscle synthesis at its peak within the limits of natural fitness genetics. Let's look at a 2020 study where participants were split into two groups. Group 1, a low protein breakfast, moderate protein lunch, and high protein dinner. Group 2, protein evenly distributed across 3 meals. Interestingly, even though Group 1 consumed 8 to 10 grams more protein daily, after 12 weeks of strength training, Group 2 showed slightly greater gains in muscle mass across 5 muscle groups and overall muscle growth. So, distributing protein evenly across 3 meals is effective. But what about splitting it into more meals, like 6? Another study compared 3 evenly distributed meals with 6 smaller meals. After 8 weeks, there was no significant difference in muscle growth. Summary: the optimal safe protein intake for maximizing muscle growth is 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. Distribute your protein intake evenly across 3 meals for the best results. Adjust your protein intake based on your body composition to avoid overloading your organs. Now you know how much protein to consume daily and how to structure your intake to get the most out of your fitness efforts. To improve your strength levels in addition to diligent training, eating the right foods can save you a lot of time and effort. In this session, let's go over some foods that are highly beneficial for fitness enthusiasts. Number 1, brown rice. Many fitness models and strength athletes include a lot of brown rice in their daily diet. Compared to other staple foods, it's rich in minerals and vitamins, has a moderate glycemic index, and provides sufficient carbohydrates. In anaerobic exercise, carbohydrates are the primary energy source. Carbs are broken down into glucose and stored as glycogen in the muscles and liver. Heavy lifts like squats, bench presses, and deadlifts rely heavily on glycogen to fuel muscle contractions and meet the high energy demands. 2. Beets. Beets are high in nitrates, which are converted into nitric oxide in the body. Nitric oxide dilates blood vessels, increasing blood flow and allowing more oxygen and nutrients to be delivered to your muscles. Improved blood flow during intense exercise can significantly enhance muscle strength, endurance, and reduce fatigue. 3. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, and yams. These foods provide your body with its preferred energy source, while being relatively low in carbohydrates. Compared to rice with the same amount of carbs, you can eat 2 to 3 times the volume of potatoes or sweet potatoes. If you don't consume enough carbohydrates, your body will convert part of the protein you eat into glycogen through a process called gluconeogenesis. This is why during a cutting phase, when you need to limit carb intake but still feel full, potatoes and sweet potatoes are the perfect staple foods. 4. Beef. Beef is not only delicious, but also packed with protein that is highly bioavailable, making it easier for your body to absorb and use. In addition, beef is a natural source of creatine. What's the role of creatine? We've discussed it in previous videos. It's incredibly effective. Theoretically, if you eat enough beef every day, you won't need additional creatine supplements. Beef also provides a good amount of iron, which is critical for oxygen transport. 5. Bananas. A banana after training can quickly replenish your energy levels. It's simple and effective. 6. Oats. Oats can maximize your strength, likely because they are high in protein. Look up the nutritional profile of oats, about 25 grams of protein per 100 grams. Isn't that essentially a natural mass gainer? By incorporating these foods into your diet, you can effectively support your training goals. Keep eating right and training hard.